All right, guys, we are live. I hope you all can hear me. I'm just hoping that you can hear me. If you cannot hear me, please, you may want to do me a favor, by actually, writing on the stream and let me know that you can hear me. But the problem is that this thing is not moving green, so I'm not so sure that. Hey, hello. It shows green, but I'm not so sure if you guys can hear me. But if you can hear me or you cannot hear me, I would like to know in the stream. Please go ahead. Let me know about it. I decided to go live, very spontaneous, because each time I'm in the warehouse here and I'm working and I get some ideas, sometimes the idea is not, it's not big enough to be a standalone video. And because of that, I just want to turn my camera on, go onto the YouTube feature, go live, and kind of tell you guys, this thing. See, I'm not going to downplay the fact that if you decide to flip pieces for profit, you might be having a problem, which is you may not have time to do a lot of things that you would have loved to do. You will not have time to do a lot of research. You may not have time to, even go out to shop for inventories, reach out to suppliers. Time is a major problem. You are going to have this problem, but if you are going to go to bed now and say, look, I do not have time because of that, I'm not going to take any action. I'm just going to, fold my hands. And yeah, people are making money flipping stuff, flipping pieces online, and you do not want to take any action. You might be doing yourself a lot of disservice. The time is always going to be a problem. Even if you decide to, go the normal route of taking a normal job, a 9-to-5 job, you are still going to be having that problem of time. You're not going to be having time to even, have good sleep. You're not going to have time to do anything because if you walk far away from your home, that will presuppose that you're going to be waking up in the morning, trying to, I'm not so sure if this audio is going through. I'm just going to stop the stream and see, like, play it back to be sure that everything is fine. But I don't know. I don't care. Hopefully, if it doesn't work, I will just do it a second time. But I'm going to go with it to the end. So like I was saying, time is a major problem. And the more you begin to take a look at and tell yourself, what are the things that I can possibly do, to circumvent that time problem? It's going to be a major, like me, I'm taking myself as an example. Sorry, this video is live and I'm in the middle of work, and sometimes it's going to be a little bit bumpy, but at the end of the day, I promise you, you are going to get the value I am trying to, give to you. You see, I do not have time to do this video right now. As a matter of fact, this PC is a PC I need to actually ship out. I'm just going to take a look. This is a PC that has been flipped for 376 euros, and it needs to be taken to the post office today. I do not have time to make this video while still working on this. And the idea that came to my head, I do not want to lose it. Yes, I could go ahead and write the idea down and at the end of the day, make a video about but then I feel like now that I'm in the middle of this, thought process, it's always better if you can just, speak it out, tell it to somebody, this PC has been sold, it needs to be shipped out. I had an idea, I need to make, a video. And I said to myself, I'm not going to wait until I will have the time, to do the video. I'm going to go ahead and put on my camera and just try to see how I can combine it. And if you take that same attitude to your flipping PC business, it's going to help you. You're not going to have time to list items, but sometimes you might have a 10 or 15 minutes, a 20 minutes in the day, instead of sitting down and just doing nothing. Because the thing that might be in your head now is that you need like hours in the day to do this. Yes, at the beginning or in the beginning, if you do not have a guide, this might pretty much be so. You need to do a lot of, high energy activities to be able to, do stuff like this when you do not have somebody to guide you. But then as soon as things begin to take shape, definitely the amount of time that you will be needing will definitely be reduced. And this is the idea. All right. So if you finally have gotten to that point where you now have like 20 minutes in a day, it might even be in between your, your lunch break, you have your laptop in your bag and you have like a 10 or 20 minutes interval between you going back to work, you can just, go ahead, bring out your laptop and begin to see one or two things that you can actually do. Yes, you need to do something, because if you do not do anything, nothing is going to move. It takes a lot of effort to move this needle, just a little bit forward. And the earlier, you begin to, do stuff, the better it's going to be for you. Just give me 1 minute. My phone is ringing. I need to take a look at who's that. All right, guys. Sorry for that. This is what I am talking about. I don't have time. My wife called me. She wanted to, find out a few stuff which I was able to, quickly give to her. But right to the video again, like I was saying, for the 20th time, you might not have time to do anything. So the little time that you have, if you have 10 minutes, 20 minutes between your break, you can actually bring out your laptop and begin to test things, begin to see how you can list on a platform like say eBay. I would recommend eBay because that's pretty much where the traffic is. Of course, you can also do this thing with your website, but the problem you're going to be having there is that you might not have solid traffic, and because you do not have solid traffic, you might be making very, very little sales. You see, that 10 minutes that you stand out, that you sit down, bring out your laptop, take a look at the offers, go to the eBay research tool, see the items that are selling. You go ahead, you click on them, take a look at how they were listed, take a look at the kind of titles that was used, to list that item. It goes a long way, to adding to these little activities, because if you want to make this business work, definitely there are a lot of activities that you're going to be doing. Small, small steps, not like, don't think about it like something that you need to do all at once. Every day you need to be making some small, small, steps. You may need to post something, you may need to clean something, you may need to test something. Those little, little moves, these are what finally goes on to, become big moves. They're going to add up over a long time. I'm just talking about a long time if you do not have anybody to guide you, but if you have somebody to just give you the game, say, look, this do, this don't do, this buy, this don't buy. This is the way you can actually cheat the whole, process. But one thing I always advise, yes, it's good to have somebody to be your guide, but it's always good for you to go ahead and test things yourself. Take a look, check out what is working, what is not working. As soon as you can identify them, those small, small steps are going to help you on the way, to discovering these things. If you keep thinking about you making 12 hours a day in your garage, yeah, they might be a little bit, daunting. You might just imagine that, where am I going to get 12 hours in a day to do this? Yes, this is the thing that might just be holding you back, because the more you begin to think about it like something you have to pull off at once, pull off at once, the more daunting it is going to be. See, this PC that was sold, it wasn't a PC that I listed all in one go. When I made the pictures, it took me about 1 hour to make these pictures, and I didn't have a lot of time. But in between me waiting for sometimes for some PCs to install, set some to install some certain kind of drivers, in between me waiting for anything, maybe in the warehouse, just waiting for one or two things to happen, I went ahead and made the photograph of this decent PC. Like it's a Dell Optiplex, 5060, beautiful condition. I made the photos and I went ahead. You see, I do use Photoshop in editing my videos. It's not in editing my photos. It's not absolutely necessary. It's just that Photoshop is already in my processes, and sometimes because I have it installed on my desktop, just go ahead, pull out the photos I've made, bring them out of my phone, and go ahead and use Photoshop to just make sure that they are edited nice and cool. You can actually use any kind of software, to edit your photos. But then Since I found out that Photoshop works for me, I use it. So in between me waiting, pull up the photos. This thing is kind of very dirty, and I'm thinking that I need to maybe probably wash it because I don't want to send something like this. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little bit with some dust particles in there. And when it happens like this, what I like to do, just to go ahead, and wash it, because if you nobody pays you as much as how much did this buyer pay? 376 euros to just get a PC that's not looking in the best condition. Might not be the best experience. I always try buyers get the best they can possibly get in terms of quality. And sometimes, even though it's not so convenient for me because I'm on a live stream now, I have to actually go ahead and watch this. So I'm going to quickly just round up what I'm trying to say to you guys. Possibly cut the stream, and definitely I'm going to be also making another video. I'm prioritizing videos, even though I do not have time. But I have said to myself, as long as I have an idea while working, even though I'm in the middle of work, I'm going to ensure that I go ahead and execute it. Thanks. Thank God there is a live function on YouTube, and we can actually begin to use that to our advantage. But then work has to move on, and I don't want to go down now, and watch this while keeping you waiting on the stream. So what I'm trying to say in effect is this: if you want to commit yourself to this business of flipping pieces for profit, you are going to be needing time. If you do not have time, that shouldn't be a demotivating factor. It shouldn't be a limiting factor for you, because it's very, very possible. I'm just saying that it's possible that you are looking at the time requirement as something that you need to put to the table, or you need to put on the table, at a particular time. Let's say you are looking at it in such a way that you have to bring out 5 hours a day, and you're asking yourself, why am I going to get 5 hours? I'm already very busy with work. I have to come back. I have to prepare food. Yes, I get. I've been there before. I'm going to tell you guys, look, there's no combination that I have not been through. I've been through it. I've got a wife, got kids. I've got a full-time job before. I've got a part-time job before. I've even been out of job before. I've done this business full-time. Every combination along the way, just to make it work, I have actually done it. See, what I'm saying is that 10 minutes, that 20 minutes that you have, if you finally say, look, you no longer have any time left in the day. The day is made up of, let's say, 12 hours. A complete day, definitely 24 hours. You have to sleep in between. But let's say in the daylight, you do no longer have 10 minutes left. Then that's a problem, because there's just no way you will not be able to squeeze out 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. Even if it has to be when you are in the bathroom, you are in the restroom, bring out your phone, check things, check what is selling, check what people are, posting or listing. That reminds me, there's a video I have to make, which is, focus on the things you actually want to sell. I see a lot of people wanting to start to flip PCs. They want to flip everything possible. They want to flip desktop PCs, laptop, phones, monitors, cables, everything, adapters, and at the end of the day, they are just losing focus. If laptop, is the kind of category or the subcategory that interests you, focus on it. Even if you just got 2 laptops, you can actually start with that. Focus on it and get to know the in and out of those laptops. Get to know how to troubleshoot it. Get to know when the laptop is presenting with problems. Get to know how to list it. Get to know who even the major players, the major sellers of that laptop is. It's going to help you a lot. When things begin to take shape, things begin to fall in place, you can actually begin to diversify. But that focus, if desktop PCs are what interests you, because you can actually manipulate the PC, you can open them up, you can upgrade them. Because laptops, through the said, are not so easy. They are first of all very fragile. Opening them sometimes is kind of a little bit of a headache. But then if you want to really excel in this business, you need to be focused. And because of that, if you combine your focus with the little time you have, so if I've just got 20 minutes, I'm not going to go onto eBay and begin to look at all the categories on eBay, trying to see what hack, no, I'm just going to go to laptops, and I'm just going to go to the laptops that are selling, the ones that are trending. Just keep looking at them, observing the trend, even taking a look at who the sellers are, where they're located, where could they be possibly, buying for. So when you go out to the thrift store, or to wherever sources that you have finally identified, to buy stuff, you're going to be going there, with some bit of information. And look, okay, when I was on eBay, I saw that this particular laptop was selling. I saw that this 13 inches or 13.3 inches wasn't selling as much as the 14 inches. I saw that the Core i7 was kind of a hot cake. The Core i3 was a little bit not something that people wanted. These are some of the things that you are going to be figuring out in the little time you have. And whenever you also have this kind of time, test making photographs, test making them, just one photo, bring them out, put them on your editing software. You have Canvas, you have, Canva, you have every other kind of programs in between. Put them there, try to see how you can just learn one thing, how to crop, how to remove the background. That should just be enough. This whole process, this whole little things that you are putting, doing, but if you are committed to it, it's going to add up. And when it adds up, you're going to be shocked. I didn't know I knew a lot until just recently when I started looking back and saying, whoa, if I needed to troubleshoot this PC, I knew where the problem already was. If I needed to, list a particular PC, I already knew, where to go. If I needed to photograph a particular PC, I knew what angles, to place the PC, because these were coming from series, years, months of constantly testing. Sometimes I have 20 minutes, I have 30 minutes. Sometimes I get a very, good gift, which is gift in terms of time. I get a date where I'm kind of very free. I've got 6 hours to myself. I put everything in, But the days I've also got, 20 minutes, 1 hour, I also put it in, just testing things, even getting, my camera positions. That took me time, but not time, like in one stretch. Not like it took me 15 hours to figure it out. It took me little effort, small effort every day. And that's what people talk about when they talk about being consistent. That little effort that you put in every day, it goes a long way, to change things. Guys, I need to run. Tomorrow is another day. I'm going to be hopping on this live stream, every now and again. So if you are not subscribed to this channel, please be subscribed. I'm going to be dropping a lot of nuggets. Flipping pieces for profit is a very, very lucrative thing to do. Of course, it's not easy, but if you say, I'm tired of testing things, I'm tired of testing so many, business opportunities or business schemes like SMMA, but I want to be that product guy. I want to sell product. I want to be able to, have a small thing that I can build. Like I will see it, me building it, I will see results. This channel is possibly for you. So be subscribed, click on the like button. Nobody dropped me a comment, so there's pretty much nothing I could answer, but then you can always go back to this video, drop me a comment, let me know what it is that might be bothering you or holding you back from starting your PC flipping business. If you let me know about it, I might be able to profile, solution. But in the absence of that, I want to wish you all a beautiful afternoon. I'm going to see you again in the next video. Peace out.